Right now, I'm a mushroom named Smushi, and I was just taken from my home. And in order to get back, I need to glide, platform, and ride a capybara. Yeah, don't question that one. This is Smushi Come Home, and in order to 100% it, you need to complete the whole main story, research every mushroom, collect every augment or skin, acquire every wind essence, obtain every spore of energy, and finally complete the post-game story, Heart of the Forest. And this whole story started on Smushi's home island. The game began by Smushi waking up a bit late.
Ugh. I fell asleep face first again. Looks like Musho, Mushi, and Umi are up. Better go check on them. What are you doing? Practicing my floating.
And after checking on Umi, we learned Umi lost Poki, which was Umi's ladybug friend, and we had to look for it. So after looking around the island, we found Poki and lured it back with Umi's flute.
Oh, ladybug, what's up, man? Hey. Poki. Never leave me again, Poki. Poki's part of the family now. How about we get down from here? Maybe Musho and Mushi want to play with Poki. Oh no, I see a bird. I see a bird. Oh no. Oh no. We gotta go. It takes me instead. I was like, I saw that bird and I was like, oh, we're done.
And yeah, that bird took us really far away into some unknown snowy place. And this next section acted as the tutorial. And after exploring a bit, I found a friend that said a river nearby might lead us to the lake where our island was. I just needed to be
Strong, confident, most importantly, brave.
Also, this guy gave us the tools of the Explorer, which gave us access to two major platforming tools. First were these rusty hooks that let us wall cling onto almost any wall in the game.
Oh.
And second was this leaf, which let us hang glide in the air for a little bit. Both of these tools were essential, and I'm going to be using them a lot. Next, we found a tool for mining, which allowed us to mine these green rocks, which gave us these green crystals, which was the main currency for the game. And now after all that, we finally made it to the first area, Massina entry. And each of these areas usually starts off with a map that we open up as we explore. The first thing I did in this area was talk to this flower guy, and they talked about these flower shrines in the area that needed to be restored. So I kept that in the back of my head. As I kept exploring, I found this mycologist who's very obsessed with mushrooms and me because, well, I'm a mushroom, and they said they needed a writing tool for their studies. And yeah, not too far away, I found a tool of writing, and I continue to mine more of these green crystals, because I'm going to need every single one I find. But after returning the pencil, I was given a mycology journal, and this journal updates whenever I touch a mushroom. The journal was really cool and gives some silly descriptions of the mushrooms and mini notes from Smushi. So throughout the playthrough, I had to make sure to touch every new mushroom I see. A bit later, I found a guy that told me where the river was, but right now there was a lizard blocking the entrance, and the lizard inside can only be lured by blueberries. And yeah, I'll worry about that later, because next I found a new mushroom, the Hyphiloma capanoids, which usually grow in clusters on decaying wood. Also at this time, I was mining these purple crystals, which was the second currency in the game. This is later used for new mushroom skins or augments, and after that, I was in a mini area behind Myrtle Pools, with a mini platforming section that had these ancient relics. They were just some coins, but a nearby guy really wanted them, so I collected the coins and gave them to him. And he, in return, gave us 20 green crystals and one of our first achievements. After that, I went to Bolet Beach and unlocked the Ways of the Blade, which costed about 30 green crystals, but allowed us to now cut down any grass or vines that were blocking our path. And next, I found some new mushrooms like the Calciporus piperatus, kind of sounds like me in a way, and then collect the hands of the statue, which put together gave us a flower from one of the flower shrines from earlier. And doing that gave me my first spore of energy, which we will find out a bit more later. And a little later, I went to Anemone Woods and found the Entoloma Hochsteteri mushroom, which I thought looked neat, and then traversed some flower pots, finding an elastic band. And right after, I made my way to the cave sub-area. The cave introduced these cool air vents that gave your glider infinite stamina and pushed you in a direction. A majority of these vents are activatable after just finding a button from platforming, and that was how the majority of the section worked. But the next section of the cave involved finding more of these buttons, but this time they activated these pillars, and you'll eventually jump on all of them after activating each one. One of the buttons that you had to look for was missing a wire that you had to find, but it was pretty seamless. Overall, this whole section was just really chill, enjoying the fluid platforming, collecting crystals. Everything felt really intuitive. But eventually, all of the pillars were knocked down, leading way to a 7-ball at the top. With the 7-ball, you had to push it down a slope from the way you came. which let me find one of the 2 blueberries I needed, letting me leave the cave. There were still some things I needed to do in this area, like right after I found another flower for the flower shrines, which gave me another spore of energy, but this time, Smushi had a different reaction. My legs got stronger, allowing me to do a brief super sprint, which was cool, but I didn't really use it that much in this playthrough because a majority of my time in the game is just gliding and climbing anyway, but it was still useful to have. After that, I found this girl who really wanted the big strawberries on this wall, so she made a launcher device to hit them down. She said she was missing an elastic band that we luckily already had, so we helped her out. The weird thing was she had terrible aim, so she couldn't really operate the launcher. I don't know how she was going to do that in the first place, but I helped her shoot down the strawberries and was given the strawberry augment. Basically, once you find one of these augments, you unlock them by giving 12 purple crystals, and this gives Smushi a new hat. Afterwards, I just kept collecting crystals and did another flower shrine, which ended up giving me another augment called the purple augmenter, which gave me a nice purple cap.
Oh, I got a purple cap.
Next, I talked to this random guy at Myrtle Pool, and he traded me the other blueberry for 60 green crystals. Luckily, I had enough. But after that, I went exploring and found the Macrolepiota procera mushrooms, and also this forest wisp, which gave me my first essence of the wind. This basically let my glider last longer, which allowed me to do some jumps I normally couldn't. I knew where another forest wisp was, but I was having some trouble with the jump, but learned it was pretty easy from the strawberry spot from earlier. But after getting this other essence of the wind, I talked to this purple snake mushroom guy. This guy's in every area and basically gives you hints for the augments, but they aren't super useful. They're just useful to know what augments exist in the first place, so I didn't really use them too much. After that, I did the last flower shrine, giving me another spore of energy and another achievement. And the flower guy earlier gave me the flower augmenter, which looked alright, but I just went to use the purple one anyway. But that was it for this area. There was a locked door that I found, but I needed something later in the game to access it. But finally, I was able to leave this area after giving both of my blueberries to this lizard.
Alright, take the blueberry. That was delicious. Bring me another. Oh, so you really do need to. Okay, fine. Here's my other one. You brought me out in the sun. Dumb lizard, bro.
But now I was in a new main area called Forest of the Fall, which gave me a brand new map, and I also unlocked a new mushroom, the Amanita muscaria, which is kind of cool because when this mushroom is combined with milk, it kills houseflies. I don't know, I thought it was cool. And right next to these new mushrooms was this guy who was addicted to nectar.
This guy really wants some nectar.
So I aided his addiction and took a bucket and helped him collect some, which was fun. He gave me some green crystals for doing that.
Oh, are you gonna be able to wall cling twice?
And a little later, I found these 2 climbers, and after showing them my rusty hooks, this purple guy said I could use an upgrade, but it costed 60 green crystals.
60, and I have 59.
And while looking for a singular green crystal, I found these Hygrocybe flavzens, and 2 seconds later, I got the new hooks, which were really nice because I can now wall cling twice instead of once. After that, I talked to this rock girl, but she said I wasn't tough enough and told me to leave, which was kind of mean, but after I found a new cave to look through. It ended up being this little platforming section, which had some crystals and another forest wisp, so I got another essence of the wind. Immediately after this, I found another forest wisp, but they lost all of their wind essence. And they lost it all making this gliding game, which was a nice little section of going through some little whim loops, and after doing all of their trials, I not only got an achievement, but also got a super essence, which made my glider now have a boost every time I activated. This made traveling around a lot quicker. And after discovering the Exudoporus Frosty, I found this guy who was talking to this fire named Steve.
Oh, the fire talk. His name is Steve. He's a little shy. Well, Steve started out pretty small. I just used my fire star to get things going.
Was this fire real? I don't really know, but I like to believe Steve was real. Apparently he's been alive for about a week. But anyways, this guy said he would give me a fire starting kit for 30 green crystals. I was a little short, and when looking for more, I found this green mushroom friend who's trying to blow up these iron bars to get farther in the river. And I learned that's exactly what I need to do to get back home. So I decided to help him out. But I learned they still need some gunpowder to blow up the bars, and some punks have some of the gunpowder needed, so we'll deal with that later. After the little detour, I went and paid for my fire starter kit and lit these pencil looking things wings, which ended up giving me another spore of energy. Next, I found this little area at the bottom of the map, which after some platforming led to another force wisp, upgrading my glider once again. This area also had an exit which led right to this goon club, but I didn't have the password to get in. Luckily, this other stone guy told me about the original club founder, which happened to be the mean stone girl from earlier, but I saved that for later because the cryptic caverns was right next to their club site. And in that area, I discovered the Cantharellus cibarius, which apparently tastes and smells good. I know Smushi was having some second thoughts about that fact, but that didn't stop me from talking to the blacksmith named Riley nearby, who told me that it was too dark to see in the cave. And instead of having a flash TM, Riley said that there was a light bulb real high up that he can make into a device for me to see, and that didn't take too long for me to get. So after returning it, he made me a headlamp with it, which let me go right into the cave in search of some gunpowder. This whole section revolved around finding codes to put into these buttons. It was pretty self-explanatory. They just told you what the codes were on some nearby paper. There was also some crystals scattered around like usual that I was mining, which got me to the cumulative 400 green crystal mark, which gave me another achievement. Also, this section involved a lot of dynamite that was just lying there, and thanks to our new fire starter kit, I could just blow them all up, revealing new areas.
Oh shoot. Boom. Boom. That's a boom, not a doom.
After blowing this up, I found a mushroom friend who lost his true love in the cave, and I wanted to be sympathetic, but before I found her, I went through some other platforming and button pressing, which led to another puzzle. But this time, it was with statues. It was pretty simple, just make the statues face each other. I thought it was the shapes they were holding at first, but I quickly learned that they were all the same. Matching the statues revealed a flower jump, which led to a pipe platforming area that let you drain some water, unlocking the next area, which finally gave me the explosive powder I was looking for. But I still had to find the lost lover from earlier, so I went back through the cave and went down a part of a pipe that I didn't go through before, finding a new mushroom, the Massina chlorophyll, which has a cool glow that lasts for 3 days. And I found the lost lover I was looking for, which gave me an achievement, which was nice, but she also gave me a new augment. This gave me a cool blue cap.
Alright, let's try this out. Oh, this one's cool. I'm using this now on.
And I was finally done with this cave. After that, I went back to the founder of the club from before, and this time she actually listened to me once I brought up the club, and all the weird activities they were doing, like stealing gunpowder. She went on about being tough and not soft, and you gotta be strong, but I just had to end up doing her obstacle course to earn her respect. This felt like the first real platforming section of the game, dedicated to pure platforming, and if you fell, you had to restart the section. There were a variety of jumps, from moving platforms, decaying platforms, the flower jumps. It was pretty fun. The first time I beat it, I got the secret password, but there was also another slightly harder course that gave me a verdant augmenter and another achievement. And now, since I had the password and beat the courses, I was now an official member of the club, which gave me access to the expansive clubhouse.
Hereby welcome member Smushi. Let's check out this clubhouse. Wow.
Which let me blow up the bars that were leading to the final area of the game. But before that, apparently there was another round of the nectar collecting game from before that I just didn't do, and this time it was timed. But it wasn't too hard, giving me another achievement, and also the nectar addict in the end gave me another augment. I didn't really use that one, bit too sticky for my liking.
Oh, I got goo on my...
And now finally, I entered the last area of the main story, the Lake of Bloom. After collecting the area map, I listened in on the conversation of 3 capybaras. These capybaras were 3 siblings, and the oldest one was having trouble with his little sister and brother, which was well deserved because he accidentally destroyed his sister's sandcastle and pretended like he was too busy to hang out with his younger brother. After consoling the big brother, I told him about my situation and what my home island was like, and he happened to know about it. He could take me there now, but since Smushi had some experience dealing with siblings, he said he could use some help to mend the situation with his. So I set off to help him. In the Lake of Bloom, instead of moving area to area with Smushi, you have something way better. You move via capybara. And I just love drifting on this guy and doing donuts with him. But eventually, I made it to an island called the Hidden Lotus. This was where his little brother was. He was pretty upset about his big brother's negligence, so he made another friend in his place, but he said he hasn't seen him in a while. Apparently, they were in a secret cave looking for food for their picnic, but hasn't came back. And since the cave was underwater and not capybara sized, I was the only one to be able to get in. The only problem was I didn't know how to dive underwater yet, but apparently there was someone nearby who could teach me. I eventually made way to a place called Diver's Focus, which had someone who could teach me to breathe underwater underwater. All I needed was a water essence in one of these shrines, and I can breathe underwater in the nearby area thanks to the spirit of the forest. It was pretty magical. It also costed me 20 green crystals, but to breathe underwater, I think it was worth it. The diver did say he had a challenge though, so I had to take it on. I activated the shrine and tried it out. He had 3 red rocks I needed to find and bring back. This was timed, but you got some time back whenever you delivered one of the rocks, so it was pretty easy. This was more so a tutorial for water movement, and in the end, I earned a really cool new augment and gained another achievement. And since I knew how to dive now, I went back to the hidden locust and went to look for the little brother's lost friend in the secret cave. But first I had to figure out how to activate it. After some searching, I was finding these glowing orbs around and learned that I had to give them to the statues nearby. While this was happening, I found the Satharella aquatica, which was pretty cool because they are known to be the only aquatic guild fungus. I just didn't even know that existed. They reproduce via spores and have air bubbles around them, which I just thought was crazy. Anyways, I eventually found all the orbs and put them in the statues and gained access to the secret cave. The cave led to these interconnecting pipes, which each had their own separate areas. The first area I found was a piano with symbols on each of the keys. There was also a note, but pieces of it were cut out. So you know what I had to do? I did more platforming for the pieces. Eventually I got an upside down triangle, a down arrow, another upside down triangle, and a heart, which after completion gave me a new ink augmenter, which gave me a pretty cool black hat.
Got it. What is that black mushroom? Ink augmenter. Cool. Alright, ink augmenter. Whoa, cool. Cool hat.
The next area I found in the pipes led to the mushroom friend that I was looking for. His name was Chunky. I don't know how he found the entrance to the secret cave, but he was stuck in the hole for a whole 20 minutes before I came. He told me his hooks broke and I know I needed to find a way to get him back up, so I searched around and eventually found these 2 automated pillars. Their heights could be adjusted by these buttons, which allowed me to make it to another part of the cave, which had a new opening. It was this whole outside area with a water shrine and a new friend. He had some rope, but he needed some seasoning for his acorns, so I went into the water and collected this algae looking stuff. I don't think that would taste that good, but I won't judge because I'm getting some rope out of it. After getting the rope, or I guess old string, I went back to Chunky and helped him back up. Also, I gave Chunky my old rusty hooks so he can make it out of the cave and got an achievement for saving him. And after saving him, I made my way back to the Capybara brothers and we had a little picnic. We talked for a little, but in the end, the big brother apologized to his little brother and made amends. So after that, I made way to make amends with his other sibling. But first, I found another island called Indigo Island. It had this peculiar merchant who happened to be selling a spore of energy and an essence of the wind. I don't know how he got his hands on the essence of the wind. That was like only for forest swifts, but I was happy to pay the 40 green crystals for both of them.
I guess I'd be interested. But back to business. The low price, 40 each. I'll get both of them. Oh, I acquired all the wind essences. How do you get one? My merchant skills. I have a friend who has a cousin who has a brother who has a son who has a father whose friend is my uncle who has... Okay.
Indigo Island also had these circles in the middle that I had to put lit candles into, but before that I found the Lactarius Indigo, which exudes a dark blue milk when damaged, which was interesting, I guess. But anyway, I found the last candle, which revealed another hidden cave to go into. This game really likes their hidden caves. This cave was similar to the last with the piano keyboard thing I needed to fill out, but first I needed to get a battery to power it. I got the battery after a little bit of platforming and input the code into the keyboard, which revealed a secret key.
Whoa, a key. Secret opener. Maybe for a secret door, perhaps?
I had an inkling that it was for the secret door in the first area, but I was going to do that a bit later. There was another room in that cave that I had to match some crystals to get a flower jump.
Oh, weird.
But that just led to some purple crystals. And that was enough at Indigo Island. I then ventured to Sacred Home, where my capybara friend's sister was staying.
Hey. Huh? Why you following me here? Better not mess this up again. My sand sculpture. I'm trying to make a new one now, since he destroyed it.
She was still upset he messed up her sandcastle, so we had to figure out a way to make it up to her. We asked if we could help make a new one, and she said she heard about a sacred orb on this island that would make her sandcastle stand out by making it come to life. I didn't really trust that, but apparently there were 2 orbs, so her big brother went looking for one, and I went looking for the one on the island. Nearby there were some other sand sculptors, and when I asked one, they told me the orb used to be at the top of the island, but it's not anymore, and the elder is freaking out about it. Something about a corruption spreading. And on my way to talk to the elder, I found a rare Clavaria solingari, and then I talked to the elder who strangely knew who I was. She really didn't tell me much other than please fix this corruption thing, so I went on my way and found some of the corruption. It was a bit everywhere, but could just be fixed by me hitting it. After destroying all the nearby corruption, I found a stone, which when put in this shrine, revealed a hidden waterfall cave. This led to a brand new section of areas, and me finding the Hydrocybe Konica, or the Witch's Cap. This new area had a guy who just felt awful.
Oh no, you ate the corruption.
Apparently they ate something really bad, and that's why this corruption or poison is now spreading. So I had to find a way to get it off. I first did some platforming up the spiral, and the first area I found was filled with these poison clouds that I had to put out with this fire, which led me to a flower jump, which led me to a faucet, which when turned, poured some water on our corrupted friend, which kinda helped with the corruption.
Oh, bro's getting a bath.
After that, I kept heading up and found this huge corruption pile. And in the next room, I found these colored flowers, which when matched with the same colored stones, revealed another flower jump, but this time having some dynamite that I used to destroy the corruption pile from before. This revealed another flower jump, which gave me access to another faucet, finally making this guy feel better with another stream of water. I guess all it took was a shower.
Cleanse the corruption.
I don't know why we could have just turned the first faucet twice, but who cares. And now I went into the room the corrupted guy was blocking, giving me a redstone to put in the shrine that was in the middle of the room, giving me access to the sacred orb I was looking for all along.
Sacred orb. Let's go.
Now finally, I gave the orbs to the Sandcastle Master Capybara, which not only helped make a crazy sand sculpture, but also it helped the siblings unite together once again, and for the sister to finally forgive the brother, giving me an achievement.
Hey, unite both capybara siblings.
But more importantly, I allowed the big brother Capybara to sail me back home, which let me reunite with my siblings once again.
See anything? Oh. It's over there. Hey. Come on. Smushi's out there and needs our help. But homie, can't get off this island. That boat we made sank immediately. Oh, none of us are good swimmers. Need Smushi's help. Maybe we can... Maybe... So where are you? I'm right here. Hey, Sushi.
And yeah, that was the end of the main story, but I still had some places that I needed to go and a whole other post-game area with a whole other story that I needed to tackle. But before I did that, I made my way back to the first area, Massina entry, to see what was behind the hidden door at the start of the game. And the door revealed a real mushroom friend who gave me some advice, and that was to not stop growing and keep on improving myself. And yeah, I took that advice, but also he gave me the show augmenter and the meet your maker achievement. So I decided to put on my new hat.
What's like him? I knew it was gonna be like him.
And go to the second area again. There was a couple things I needed to do, starting with this water shrine. Now that I can dive, I was able to go in the cave below, which had a really cool mushroom called the Copernus comatus.
Whoa, what's this mushroom? It's the black one I had earlier. This one's cool. What is this? Copernus comatus. Of liquefying its gills into a black ink, like liquid. That's so cool.
I looked it up and yeah, it looks really cool at this stage. Anyways, this section had time buttons which gave you only a certain amount of time to make the wall jumps. It wasn't really too hard, but definitely one of the harder platforming sections for this game. The reward for completing it was definitely worth it. At the end was the sparkle augmenter, which was a really cool new cap with a bit of a sparkle effect.
Hey, sparkle augmenter. It's a magical shroomy. Oh, it glows.
Also in the second area, I kind of forgot to do this acorn side quest where you just find and drop acorns into this hole. And while doing this, I found the Didaleopsis tricolor, which I somehow just didn't find before either. Anyways, these acorns ended up rewarding me with an achievement and the last spore of energy I needed, giving me another achievement. And with this, I 100%ed the main game, but I still had a bunch of achievements, mushrooms, and skins to get in this post-game story. So I made my way to the Lake of Bloom in order to start the quest line. To start it, you hop on your capybara friend, and he tells you that apparently there were a bunch of white lotus flowers scattered around the lake instead of the normal pink ones. We went to investigate and start collecting the flowers ourselves and found these leaves to put them upon. and once all of them were found, you guessed it, a new secret cave arose. Immediately in the area, I found the Copernellus disseminatus, and I also found this elder that talked about the heart of the forest. Elder explained that this heart of the forest was in every forest you come across and brings life to it. But the heart of the forest in another close by Elder's forest was in dire shape and needed help. And that was where I came in. I needed to find a way to save it. In order to get to our forest first though, I needed to get a piece of this water shrine that was missing. So I ventured around and found a bunch of jars, but had no way to open them. That was until I found a treasure hunter.
Train me. Bro, has a D-pad, a USB.
Who had the tool of smashing. He said it was too heavy for him to carry with all of his stuff, so I bought it off him for 30 green crystals. This tool let me open up a lot of jars. The first one having dynamite inside of it, which let me open up opening to a little cave, which had a skeleton of some creature inside of it, and after exploring I found the tooth of the creature, completing the skeleton and gave me the sharp augmenter, which was a pretty cool hat. After that I continued to break some glass, finding a faucet inside of one of them, which helped me to drain this water, revealing the part of the shrine that was missing. And now I reached the final main area of the game, the Grove of Life. It started off like most areas of the game, giving me a map and a new mushroom, the Hygrocybe miniata. The first thing I did in the new area was light a bunch of candles, which got rid of some roots, letting me enter the Tranquil Garden. This place had another move the statue so they were facing each other puzzle, but one was stuck in a pot, so I continued to explore, finding a Phallus indiciatus mushroom.
The heck? What are these?
This guy was actually really cool. This guy arises from an underground egg, which was really interesting, but kind of scary and apparently stinky. The rest of this area led to a cave that had a sibling of the strawberry shooter in the first area, but this time they were shooting crystals. They were missing a sticky adhesive, which was up in the cave, so I decided to help out. This cave had the gimmick of destroying these spider string looking things, which revealed more platforms to jump on. I found the adhesive pretty quickly, but near the top of the cave, there was another statue, and when it activated, there was a timed collect all the yellow glowing dots game, which gave me the veiled augmenter. Also, after all this, I found a ring, which will be used a bit later. Anyways, I gave the adhesive to them and shot down the crystals. And for helping them, they rewarded me with a bomb, which I actually ended up needing to break the pot from before. And when all the statues lined up, I was given a sacred streamer. Right now, I didn't know what this was used for, but it ends up being essential for this area. Next thing I found was the Lacaria amethystina and a dude hunting for some green crystals. So far, he found about, well, 5, and they wanted about 75 crystals, so they can go fly to the snow blanket area at the start of the game. I almost had enough, so I attempted to collect some, but I got a bit distracted and started activating some pressure waterway thingy and talked to this gem collecting guy and gave them the ring I found earlier. They gave me a special dewdrop for this, which helped me water this windflower, which helps me get to an area for later. I also tried the waterway thing I activated.
Oh, what the heck? I did not expect it to do that.
Which gave me another gem. But before I get ahead of myself, I finally gave the guy from before 75 crystals, and they ended up giving me another sacred streamer. And at this point, I finally found out what they were used for. I went to talk to the village elder, and they talked about how the heart of the forest was blocked off by these roots and couldn't be replenished. The only way for the path of the heart to open up was if we collected 4 sacred streamers and put them up. I already had 2 at the time, so I was getting close. After that, I ended up going to the new area I opened up before and was instantly greeted by the Copernellus domesticus, which was the second last mushroom in the game I needed. This area was pretty cool. Well, I shouldn't say that because there was a glowbug mother and she lost all 3 of her children, so I had to find them. This section was pretty neat though. It involved jumping from flower pots and planters and doing some different mechanics like the dewdrop for the windflowers. Also in this section I lit up some of the water air pressure thingies as well, but eventually I found all the glowbugs, which rewarded me with a worried mother's appreciation, but more importantly an achievement in the rainbow augmenter. After that I used the air pressure thingies, giving me some crystals and another sacred streamer. I only needed 1 more. And while exploring, I found a button which revealed another ring, and close to it I found a new area behind some bamboo which gave me a piece of a key which helped me unlock a chest for another ring. I ended up giving these gems to the gem collector and got my last sacred streamer, but I was also missing a gem which I'll need a little later. But for now I went to the sacred tree and put down the last streamer.
I have the last streamer. What do them streamers do? Oh, they're sacred. All 4 reunited. Finally inside. So that's where the forest is.
And inside lied the heart of the forest, but it was too late.
Wait, what? What? I didn't even talk to that person.
The other elder from before came over as well, and it all looked over.
Alright. We need to work together. It's too late. Neither of us can restore the heart now. Maybe you can't alone. But what if you combine your power? It's never been done. But we don't have any other choice. Alright. Is posing necessary? Hey! Hey! See, everything's okay. When the forest needed help, came back to save it. Oh.
After that, I received the Savior of the Forest achievement, the Discover Every Mushroom achievement, and was given the Sacred Augmenter, which looked pretty nice.
New mushroom discovered! That was the last one, last mushroom! Heart of the Forest. Sacred Augmenter. What with the forest? Got the glow on it too.
And now I only had one thing left to do, and it was to give one more gem to the gem collector. I spent about 10 minutes looking for the gem I missed, and it ended up being in the planter section at the top. And after returning the gem, I got another achievement and was given the Precious Augmenter, which was the last skin in the game I needed, and the last achievement I needed. Also, it looked pretty cool. And like that, I 100%ed Smushi Come Home, and yeah, this game was a lot of fun to play through. And yeah, the Heart of the Forest mushroom wasn't real, but the experience it brought sure was. Alright. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. These 100% videos are something that I kind of want to start doing whenever Pokemon gets a little boring or stale for me. Anyways, thanks again. Alright, that's all.